Is this really happening? Am I actually talking about some scuffle on Twitter? Has my life actually come to this? Anyway, hello nomads of the internet. Welcome to a very special video, because today we'll be talking about something so dumb you just have to see it to believe it. And let's talk about this weird, I don't even want to call it drama, more like just this weird split that has been happening in the tech community over the recent announcement of Apple's M1 chip. And apparently, since the presentation, people aren't allowed to be skeptical of hardware, apparently. Anyway, in the presentation, Apple revealed the M1 Apple Silicon powered chip, and if their charts are to be believed, then this is an amazing piece of technology and a CPU that will completely outperform any standard PC. But there's one issue. Not only do they make a huge deal about things that most people don't really care about, like say overall power consumption, performance per watt, but also they filled the presentation with these super vague charts, which would lead you to believe that Apple completely destroyed the competition. But they failed to clarify what X86 CPUs they're even comparing to. The whole thing was extremely vague, and many people just believe it's just some very misguided and manipulative marketing, because they literally didn't want to put anywhere, well, what kind of X86 PC solution they're even comparing the insane, at least allegedly insane, M1 numbers. But then the fallout of it happened. You are probably aware of the Linus Tech channel at this point, and their video covering it had some very mixed reactions, because apparently it's bad not to be hyped for this. Linus was, quite rightly so, very skeptical of the things that were said about the M1 in the presentation, especially since, you know, people don't really have their hands on these yet, so we just don't know what the performance will be like. So why wouldn't anyone be skeptical? And so Linus simply just tried to, you know, present the whole thing rather objectively, showing that there isn't, you know, enough evidence right now to suggest that these CPUs are as powerful as Apple claims they are. Not being a fanboy and actually trying to critically think about, you know, what Apple has been saying in a presentation. Basically, you know, having basic journalistic integrity. Apparently he's not allowed to do that. And that is where the fighting broke out. Because came Jonathan Morrison from TOD Today, a channel I've never really had much interest in, and his weird behavior, which I've seen across the months, just hasn't really attracted me to him or his channel. And I actually did talk a bit about him in my Should Tech YouTubers Get Political video, which I highly recommend you check out. It's gonna be up in the iCards. It's a really good video that's unsurprisingly still very relevant today, seeing how we have YouTubers who literally don't want to grow their own base if those people disagree with them politically. Man, I'm burning a lot of bridges today. Meh, don't really care. That's a rant for another day. Let's talk about Jonathan for now, who made this personalized video directed at Linus, talking about, hey, you should get excited for the M1, look, the M1's gonna be amazing. And then it turned into what is pretty much a Twitter staple at this point, a complete circus. Well, Linus was, you know, still very correctly being skeptical about this whole thing, and correctly pointing out that if any other company was so fake, such as AMD or Intel, he would have acted the same, and saying apparently controversial things like he's not cheerleading for any company. You know, like he's actually being an unbiased journalist. But apparently Jonathan and others simply could not understand that, and it just turned into a right old mess, with many people trying to point out how Linus is wrong and just hates everything Apple does. And ironically, those are the people who usually have one of those like Apple AR emoji things, whatever they're called, as their Twitter profile picture. Now, true, Linus definitely does not have the best experience with Apple. They had runs in the past, like when they refused to fix their iMac Pro, even while they were offering to pay for it themselves. And more recently, they almost got blackbagged by Apple for daring to post a picture on Twitter of the developer transition kit, which they were, you know, not supposed to have because they're so dear to Apple like the firstborn child. And apparently will literally send lawyers to anyone who has them that should not have them. And that's of course all kind of terrible stuff that shouldn't be happening. And Apple has done a lot of very shady stuff like that. In fact, I'll be having a whole video coming out soon talk about all the bad stuff Apple has been doing recently. Because trust me, the rabbit hole for this is really, really deep indeed. So definitely subscribe to the channel so don't miss that. It's gonna be a really juicy one. So who's in the wrong here? I mean, as a fellow tech YouTuber, it really pains me to see this kind of situation. I mean, I'm completely tiny compared to, you know, the likes of Jonathan or Linus, but still the fact that people are so adamantly supporting the kind of this bootlicking behavior towards Apple and, you know, trying to discourage people from being skeptical towards Apple, who have a really bad track record for this kind of misleading marketing and all. I mean, it's just very disheartening. And why could this be happening? Well, I don't want to spread conspiracy theories or just discredit people, but the thing is, Linus does not have anything to lose here. Apple has already condemned him to the deepest circle of hell, but other tech YouTubers still have a chance to get those sweet freebies and review units from Apple. Could that be a thing? Probably yeah. Does that play a part in it? Probably yeah. And odds are that Linus would try to at least be a tad more optimistic towards Apple if they weren't, you know, already blacklisted and Apple didn't swear revenge to never give them any review units of anything ever. But on the other hand, well, that's almost a good thing, because at least that's given an opportunity to be honest and to have that, you know, journalistic integrity, because he does not have to worry about having to keep a good relation with a company who already hate him. So we should 100% as a tech community not be discouraging that. And one of the funniest things I've seen about this, what kind of Jonathan has been implying by, you know, saying, hey, PCMR crowd, just watch this, look at this. It's like implying that it's all just some weird PCMR fanboy scheme, because PCMR people are like, no, our dearest X86 PCs running Windows and of Mac OS, they're becoming obsolete. No, that's not the case. People are just being skeptical of a product that's being very vague. What's not to understand there? So suffice to say that, you know, after seeing Jonathan's, you know, pompous behavior in the past few months, and also now seeing how much like hubris there almost is in everything that is saying, and this kind of almost level of smugness, definitely does not make me like him even more. So I definitely won't be tuning into his videos anytime soon. But seeing how much he's defending a product we know so little about, and seeing how much his audience seem to dislike the fact someone's actually wanted to be critical of Apple, criticize them for having vague marketing and not providing clear information, well, I just don't think that's a good force in the tech space, but whatever. You may be fans of him. If you want, tell me why. And to be fair, all the stuff I've seen of him so far has been all negative, but maybe outside of that he's a great dude or whatever. So if you have bad experience with him, let me know down in the comments below. I'm very curious, and let me know what you think of this weird situation as a whole. And hey, if you're still here and want to help me recover some brain cells after going to Twitter and reading all that nonsense, maybe check out my Patreon, which is going to be down in the video description below, because even $1 milk is a long way in helping my channel. Really does help a lot. And also lift my patrons Gavin Burns and Erico B. Thank you. Thank you ever so much. Then there's also our Amazon links. If you want to buy anything on Amazon, you don't pay anything extra, we get some money, it's a win-win. I don't know, what should I have them linked to today? Well, I guess since we talk about so much about X86, let's have them linked to some nice Ryzen 5000 CPUs. If they're in stock on Amazon, actually not sure. If they're not, I'm gonna have them linked to probably some X570 motherboards instead. Down there's also my Discord if you want to talk to me over this or whatever else really. And I guess that's really it, so I hope you enjoyed this quick little video. If you didn't, subscribe, like, whatever. And I'll see you all in whatever I make next. Goodbye everyone. Goodbye.